Tune into Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
This society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some people.
On A View from the Outside this week, we look at the wanton arrests carried out by the police in St Vincent and the Grenadines. And we link that to the regime's endeavour to crush freedom of speech and any opposition to them. And we encourage Vincentians to put a stop to such erosion of rights and freedoms in the country. The Black's Law Dictionary defines the adjective wanton as unreasonably or maliciously risking harm while being indifferent to the consequences. It goes on to say, in criminal law, wanton usually connotes malice. And the same Black's Law Dictionary states that arrest is the taking or keeping of a person in custody, especially in response to a criminal charge. Those definitions tell us that a wanton arrest is an arrest which is carried out unreasonably. For example, storming the office of the leader of the opposition, the New Democratic Party, in an effort to arrest the General Secretary of that party. Or it's attending the address of a single-parent woman armed with guns to arrest her in the presence of her 6-year-old daughter, allegedly for minor offenses. The definitions tell us that a wanton arrest is an arrest which is carried out maliciously. For example, to target and arrest just a few of those perceived to support the opposition party out of a group of thousands of protesters of all political persuasion. The definitions also tell us that a wanton arrest is one which is carried out being indifferent or with no regard to the consequences. In other words, a wanton arrest is made without any care of the outcome. In the face of the spate of wanton arrest in the country, and with those definitions in mind, it is with that we here on A View from the Outside choose to look at the topic today. And we encourage Vincentians to put a stop to such erosion of rights and freedoms in the country. On the 20th of April 1964, Nelson Mandela, then President of the African National Congress, the ANC, along with others, stood in the dock of the Supreme Court of South Africa for their trial of sabotage of the apartheid regime. History tells us of the brutality of the apartheid regime and of their notoriety for carrying out wanton arrests and persecution of members of the ANC in the townships of South Africa, including killing Steve Biko, a young, brilliant son of the soil who was beaten and killed by the South African police. At the opening of his trial, Mandela made a speech entitled, "An Ideal for Which I Am Prepared to Die." In that speech, Mandela, laid out the many reasons why he took action, or why he took the actions which he did. Among the reasons he gave were the many years of tyranny, exploitation, and oppression of his people by the apartheid regime. He ended his speech by saying, and I quote, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve, but if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. At the end of his trial, Nelson Mandela was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. He spent most of his 27 years in prison on the notorious Robben Island. Upon his release from prison, Mandela then went on to become the first black president of South Africa and was inaugurated on the 10th of May 1994. He became revered throughout the world. He is purportedly revered by those in the upper echelons of the regime in St Vincent and the Grenadines, so much so that it is said that they opportunistically named a piece of road in the central leeward area the Nelson Mandela Highway. We mention the story of Nelson Mandela to give context of how some historical figures behaved in the face of tyranny, exploitation, and oppression of their people. We are not for a moment asking everyone to be a Nelson Mandela, but what we are saying is that in the face of the wanton arrests, tyranny, exploitation, corruption, and oppression, we can all learn from him. We can all learn the lessons of resistance, solidarity, fearlessness, and resolve. In the face of wanton arrests, we can all adapt Mandela's traits of not slinking away and remaining in silence. In the face of wanton arrests, we can all stand up and speak out against the tyranny. In the face of wanton arrest, we can all stand up and defend those who are persecuted and prosecuted. In the face of wanton arrest, we can all have grit and determination to withstand the oppressors. In the face of wanton arrest, we can all endeavour to dispense with selfishness and adapt the quality of looking at the bigger picture, which is the betterment of St Vincent and the Grenadines. In the face of wanton arrest, we can all endeavour to let the regime know that their actions are impacting negatively on the image of St Vincent and the Grenadines. We need to let them know also that their actions are impacting negatively on the mental health of our people, especially the children, young children, those children who are made to witness police officers from the Rapid Response Unit, commonly called Black Squad, decked out in black attire, in army-style combat, with guns ready, as if for the battlefield. Sometimes those children, their mental health is impacted when they witness their parents and loved ones being arrested in such fashion. In the face of wanton arrest, St Vincent and the Grenadines has become the laughing stock of the region and the rest of the world. In the face of wanton arrest in St Vincent and the Grenadines, it becomes necessary to let the regime know in no uncertain terms that just a change of the head of the regime will not suffice, because the others who make up the cabinet are either too spineless or too dangerous to succeed. Some of them have called for one section of the Vincentian people to suffer and die, and they are certainly not fit to lead. Some of them have declared war on the Vincentian people and are certainly not fit to lead. Some of them remain completely silent, spineless even. They have shown no fortitude and they do not stand up or defend the very people and their families who voted for them in the first place. In the face of wanton arrest, it becomes even more necessary to maintain one's focus and resolve, and always remember the issues which are at the heart of the discontentment of the Vincentian people. Remember to demand to know about the $95 million+ missing from the purse of St Vincent and the Grenadines. Remember to make the demand for accountability as is mandated by the Constitution of St Vincent and the Grenadines, which is the highest law of the land. Demand accountability for the construction of the Argyle International Airport. Demand accountability for Petrocarib money. Demand accountability for the millions of dollars which the regime received in aid in respect of the disasters, the volcanic eruption and the hurricane. Demand to know where that money is and how it is being spent. Demand to know about the millions of dollars said to be held in US bank accounts and elsewhere by members of the upper echelons of the regime. Demand to know about the millions of dollars held by Vincentians as revealed in the Panama Papers. Continue to vociferously object to the amendments of the Public Health Act, which have, in effect, removed the right of each Vincentian to choose what substance is injected into your body. Continue to make the call, loud and clear, for justice for all Vincentians, not just for a selected few who are well connected and favored, but make that call for everyone. Let Yogi Farrell, Cornelius John, Bigger Biggs, Marcus De Freitas, Anna Mae Lewis, Adriana King, Kenson King, Colin Graham, Tyrone James, Luzette King, and all of the others who are on the long list, let them know that we are demanding and will continue to demand justice for them. Do not become frustrated with their tactics to divert from the issues which are to remain at the forefront of the discussion. Stay focused. If they throw out a topic to try to shift the conversation, stay focused and always remember what is important for discussion. If they adjourn Parliament, as they have done, to try to stop the momentum, do not let them stop you from raising the issues even louder, and do not let them deter you from planning when they reschedule Parliament. Let them know that it has to be government for the people and by the people. Yes, in the face of wanton arrests and harassment of our fellow Vincentians, let us all, like Mandela, show resolve and stand up for our people, irrespective of the potential consequences. Many of us merrily sing along to the song "We Do Them" by the Vincentian calypsonian Porsa, in which he defends the right of freedom generally and the right of freedom of speech in particular. We, here on A View from the Outside, invite you, when you next hear that song, to listen more intently to the words. Listen, digest, and give life and meaning to the line in the song which says, "Freedom is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." And then ask the question, like Porsa has done. Ask the question, we do them. Vincentians, the time has come to dispense with fear. The time has come to refuse to be intimidated. We cannot all be Nelson Mandela, but we can adapt some of his traits. And he was certainly not intimidated, afraid, or daunted by the power and the might of the apartheid regime. And do not let them stop you. Many of you have already been doing just that. And it is because of that why the regime is now frantically trying to curtail the rights of Vincentians. Do not let them do that. Trade unions, do not let them do that. Human Rights Association, where are you? Do not let them do that. The St Vincent and the Grenadines Bar Association, where are you? Do not let them continue to curtail the rights of our people. Assist our people. Speak up for our people. Do not let them do that. The Christian Council and all of the church leaders and your membership, we call on you to live up to your moral and spiritual responsibilities. Do not let them curtail the rights and freedoms of our Vincentian people. Each individual must take on the responsibility to protect the rights of all. Ensure that you contact the government ministers and flood them with telephone calls and letters. Let them know that you are dissatisfied with their silence and acquiescence. Let them know that you are unhappy with their government's behavior in eroding and curtailing the rights and freedoms of the citizens of St Vincent and the Grenadines. Copy your letters to the United Nations. Copy them to the OAS, to the Commonwealth Secretariat, to CARICOM, to the OECS, and to all of the International Human Rights Association. Get writing and do just that. Do not let them curtail the rights and freedoms of the citizens of St Vincent and the Grenadines, and do not let them continue with the wanton arrests of the citizens. As we all boldly do our bit to preserve the rights and freedoms of all, let us take heart from the resolve and determination of Nelson Mandela, a man who is purportedly revered by the very regime in our country. Let us take heart as we press forward for the benefit of all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And as we do that, let us continue to reflect on the words which Mandela spoke at his trial all those years ago on the 20th of April, 1964, when he said, and I quote, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Until next week, Justin and all of the listeners, this is Brereton Horne with a reminder to send your feedback as usual to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. We also invite you to visit and like our Facebook page at A View From The Outside and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at JMB Horne. Justin, you and all of the listeners have a pleasant Saturday, have a wonderful Sunday, and a productive week ahead when we all make the effort not to be deterred by the wanton arrests.